Hi everybody, how are y'all? Sorry, I'm pouring myself something to drink. I have Zevia ginger ale. I don't buy a lot of soda, but I buy this for me and my roommate. I mean, personally, I love ginger ale. It's probably one of my favorite types of soda, pop, you want to call it. I've always liked ginger ale. But I also like root beer and cream soda. I like all the old fashioned sodas. I love me a good cream soda though. It's really good. I mean, and if you can get a really good root beer and it's like in a frosted mug, oh my gosh. And there are a few places that have that around town. There's a place that's called Dulls over here in not too far from where I live. Like it's over in Richardson, which is just a little northeast of me. And they have fabulous root beer. They have like hot dogs and burgers and stuff like that. But that, root beer in an iced mug is the bomb diggity. Okay, I'm gonna find my pattern again. I think it's back this way. Here it is. Okay, I need to put my whatchamacallit, my bookmark in here. And back in February, I purchased a bookmark from another vendor, another crochet vendor. She was like right next to me, like literally right up next to me. I hate it when my um, market coordinator does that to me, and she's done it to me more than once. Like she'll put us like right next to each other. You know, I mean, because well, we are saturated at that particular market. I don't think she really cares, to be honest. If she cared, then she would really be like saying, "Oh, well, we have enough crocheters." She just lets whomever, as long as they pay. I That's the impression I'm getting. Okay, so, but I tell you what, though, whenever we are on the square and we are in this, I'm in the same location every time. Like I have not moved from my spot on the square in quite a while. It's been almost a year, and it's like everybody knows where I'm at. You know. Hi, Rudy. How are you? Hola. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna get to making some ducks. I did not get too far making ducks yesterday. I did finish one. Like I finished it off, and he's like really cute. Just a cute little duck. So this is the Sweet Softies pattern, and I did this with a 5 millimeter hook and the Bernat baby blanket, and he's just a cute little guy. I think he just turned out quite well. I like him when his wings are just kind of closer up to his neck like that. I think it looks better, personally speaking, because I've had the wings down a little bit lower before, but I think they look better a little bit higher up. Little chunky boy. Anyway, all right. So I've got that one done. I probably want to make about a dozen of these things, give or take. I mean, I may not necessarily have the supplies for a dozen, but that's what I want to make. I might. I might have enough. I don't know. Well, maybe at least 8. 8 would be great. Okay, so I need. Where's my hook? Oh, there it is, right there. Okay. 8 is great. That's a goal. And then I reconfigured how much they're going to cost. So originally I was selling them for $13. And with my new prices and also with changing my hook size, which means I got less yarn, to be honest, But still, I went up in my price. Like, I gave myself a raise. I gave myself a full dollar raise this year. And so that actually bumped it up to $14. So, but I don't think $14 is going to break anybody, but still, you know. Okay, somebody's calling me. Who is this? I don't know. I don't know who you are. You're not on my friends list. Probably somebody who's trying to get me to sell my house or something. Or trying to sell me auto insurance. Yeah. I'm like, I don't have a car. One time I did that. One time I was like, somebody's like, your auto insurance or your warranty is about to expire. I'm like, ma'am, I don't have a car. And it's click. And I was like, really? Okay. There wasn't even like, I'm sorry for disturbing you. Nothing, it was just like, click. All right, fine. Don't want to talk to me? What if it was emergency and I needed to talk to you? Right? They're like, no, doesn't work like that. Okay, so I forget what row I'm on. Okay, so I think I'm at the first increase round. So let me count. 1, 2, yeah, because there's the increases right there. So let me double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Would that be 28? Yes. Okay. No, it's the second increase round. Okay. So the next one would be 30 because I'm only going to do 2 increases. Okay. So I hope you guys have been doing great, been doing well. Excuse me, burpee. I have been doing a lot of gardening recently, and this is like really my first time to really just kind of do it myself, with the guidance of a more experienced gardener, and which is my roommate. He's a really knowledgeable gardener and everything. So he's got me looking at like the phases of the moon and things like that. And I didn't really realize that that's a thing because just like the tides are affected by the moon's phases, it's the same as with planting. And what it does is the moisture in the soil and the air and everything also has an effect on plants, and also sprouting at night and etc. So it's really quite interesting uh, thing to kind of explore. So that would be increase. Okay, one more. So just before I got on here, that's what I was doing. So I have an old tree that's an old cottonwood tree that's sitting outside of my. I've got 2 big old cottonwood trees in my backyard, and one of them is just really, really sick and it's old. I had it capped. And the reason why I had it capped because it just dropped this one big old limb and it fell onto my awning on my back patio. And of course, this was about like 3 years ago. And I'm just now starting to take care of it. But I was back there yesterday and I'm back there today because the wind has been so bad that I finally just ripped up all the corrugated, what did I call it, fiberglass. And, a lot of it was already broken and ripped off anyways, but some corrugated fiberglass that was, on the awning. And I finally just took it off and everything, and like the metal structure is all twisted and stuff where the branch came down and broke everything. And type 99. Well, I'm kind of busy right now, buddy. Um, but anyway, so I was taking that down, and I was trying to take down more the metal framing and stuff, and it's been up there for so long that excuse me, um, there are things like rusted, you know, and uh, and I'm thinking like, well, maybe I can just pull the screws out. Um, so maybe I could do that. Maybe knock it loose. Not I'm afraid I'm gonna have to hire somebody to do that. So that metal is going to be up there for a little while, But at least if we have like a tornado come through, it won't be ripping off that, and the wind won't be catching that corrugated fiberglass. And it, like whenever we have a really good windstorm, it really just makes a really large racket. And I'm just thinking, like, you know what? Something's going to come through town, and it's just going to just knock that off, and it's just going to make it fly, and it can hurt somebody. It can do some damage to another person's property. I just need to take care of it. Okay, so this is an increase. And I just need to be responsible and do that. Also, I'm just trying to get to where, be more active around my house, take care of it a lot better. A lot of it was just like I've gotten to a little bit of depression because I have a very, very limited income, and things are just starting to break, and things are starting to need repair and things like that. And I just having a hard time affording it. I get to the point where I can't afford to participate in markets. I've got one that I participate, but it's like, it's like I have to rob Peter to pay Paul for that one. I really have had a major setback since Christmas. Christmas was a boon for me, but it was just like I now have a major setback. I didn't have any markets for January. I only had one for February. I've had one for March, and the one in February was just like almost nothing. And this one in March wasn't bad. It was good, but it's like I'm trying to play catch up, and I'm really having a hard time with it right now. So, and I know I need to be more present online and, show off my stuff so I can get some customers and etc. Let's see. And trying to figure out how, to do things and do things online and try to get, my online store set up and everything. And it's been a little tough on me in a lot of ways. And I'm trying to find a really good balance between taking care of my home and working on my crochet business. I'm trying to find the right schedule for me because, I don't want to kind of go back to work right now. I mean, I will if I gotta, but I don't want to go back to work. I want to really work on my business. And I'm afraid that if I go back to work, then it's going to make me too tired for me to work on my business. But I'm drowning. I'm just like, just got nothing, I got nothing coming in, and I'm trying to determine what types of markets are the best for me. And like I said, like on Tuesday, like doing city events, those are really good markets, but sometimes those are really, really vetted. And also sometimes they're a little expensive. Um, they're really expensive events sometimes. You know, they cost a little extra. In which year did the singer named Prince said to party like oh? mm. Oh, Rudy, you silly goose. Okay, I need to add Zabik. Zabik. And this is a really nice little colored orange. It's a really light colored orange. I forget what color it is. Oh, here's the ball band. It's called. No, it's not vanilla. Okay, vanilla's white. That was the white I had. Is it this ball band? Buttercup was the yellow. And then what is this one? I have like ball bands lying all over the place. Melon, yeah. It's melon. But it looks a lot brighter on the screen than it is with the eye. But it's a softer orange. Like I have another orange over here that's really dark. It's like a true carrot orange, but this is almost like a pastel orange in a way. Not quite peach, but you know, it's a nice orange. It's a pretty color. I do like orange. It's not my favorite color, but it's a nice, pretty, bright color that I really do find appealing. I'm attracted to it in different aspects, you know. You know, and it's so funny. It's like you're attracted to different colors at different times of your life, you know. And also depends on at the time, like say you see between a red car and a blue car, you're probably going to be attracted more to the red car than the blue car, but you never know. Everybody's different. Everybody's different. Okay. Okay. So between rounds 5 and 6, attach yarn, chain, some crochet 2, slip stitch. Okay. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so at different times in my life, I'm attracted to different colors, even though they may not necessarily be my favorite color, which I really don't have a true favorite color. It's just kind of whatever appeals to me at the moment. But yeah, for a while there, it was like mint green was really attractive. White is always very attractive to me. I've always liked white. Um, Ever since I was young, but I've also liked rainbow color things too. A pretty fuchsia is really nice. Teals. But I also like reds. I like a good dark red. You know, I mean yellow. Yellow's pretty color. Okay, so that was 2, and then a slip stitch, and then it's a chain one. Okay, and 2 single crochet. And then when you try to do that Pantone uh, color of the year, and sometimes I'm just like, really? That's how they determine the color of the year? Like that color? Why that color? So I'm just kind of like, no. Hmm. So why that color? Okie dokie. Oh, darn it. I broke my yarn. Oh, well. The gnome on strength. Okay. Oh, well. I don't think it's going to come undone. This is pretty good, sturdy yarn. It's usually pretty good about not coming undone. Now I'm going to put in my safety eyes. Where's the pack I was using for this? I got so many of these safety eye caddies that I've just used up, and I'm like holding on to them because they're great, little compartments and stuff. Like, what am I going to use it for? I might just get rid of them because I'm just like, I don't want too many. But I buy this set all the time. Okay. That was here. Okay. Is this the right size that I used? I think so. Okay. That is the right size. Yes. Okay. Okay. I don't know. Maybe I need to make them closer. For some reason, I think its beak is kind of a little bit on the high side. Well, like one side is up a little more. It's kind of crooked. But it shouldn't be. There we go. Just kind of worked it down a little bit. Oh, who is calling me? I don't know who it is. I'm not answering it. And that's why I tell my customers too. Sometimes customers ask me for my phone number, so they can call me and stuff like that. And I tell them, I said, just leave a voicemail because I screen my calls. And majority of the time they don't ever leave, like nobody leaves a message. So, oh, that's cute. Oh, he's cute. He's gonna look cute. Okay. And then let's do this. Do the safety eye snapper. I'm glad about this thing. This thing is great. It really saves my fingers a lot. It really does. Because for a while there, I was like, it was really making my fingers a little bit on the sore side. There we go. Turn his eyes just a little bit. Okay. Here we go. He's got a cute little face. Not too shabby. Okay. And then, where's that? Okay. Now we're starting to doing decreases. And then this part's a little bit tricky because the decreases are a little bit. There's not a lot of cadence to the decreases. So single decrease times 2, then 10 single crochets, and then decrease. And that's times 3. There's 3 decreases. And a single crochet and a decrease. Oh, yeah, I see it right there. Then 2 decreases. Oh, I see how it goes. Okay. There is a cadence to it. I just had to look at it. Okay. Okay. And then I'm going to do 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 and 10. And then it's a decrease, then a single. Decrease, single, decrease, and a single. Okay, so decrease, single 3, then 2 decreases, and a single and a decrease. Okay. I'm burping up ham. That kind of gross. It's gross. Right. Oh, wait. One, 2, 3. Okay. I nearly skipped a stitch. Okay, so also, there is a thing. So we're like, Mom and I were like talking about consignment. So we were looking at antique and craft malls around town, and there's quite a few. There's like quite a few of them. Like we went to a really ritzy one over up in Plano, and it was like really high dollar. Like a lot of people there were just selling their antiques and things like that. And it was cool. I mean, it was really neat. You know, saw a lot of really nice things in there. And though, like if I were to sell like crafts and things like that, you know, they were asking for that particular one. They were asking a lot of money for a monthly stall, and so we were like, yeah, I don't think our stuff's that great. Not for that, you know. Um, but we went to one in Mesquite, which has been there for a really, really long time. It's like the size of a grocery store. It's like one of those really big ones. Where it used to be, I think it used to be a Walmart or something like that. Like an old Walmart, you know, back in the day. Um, that type of size of building. And I saw some people selling some crochet in there. You know, one person was selling like they were selling crochet dolls out of worsted weight yarn. Great work. I mean, very, very talented crochet artist. But honestly speaking, she was selling her stuff a little bit too cheap. Like she had like a Cinderella and a Prince Charming for like $25 each, and I'm sitting there going, for the level of quality, and like I know what level of quality she's got, or he or she. I'm assuming it's a female. Um, the level of the quality that they have, they were asking too cheap. Like if I had made something like that, it would easily be about $45 to $50 for me personally. Um, because back in December, was it November? I made a nativity set, and it took me about 3 hours to make each of the Joseph and Mary dolls, and it took me about an hour to make the baby Jesus. So, like, at the price that I pay myself for that nativity set was just about $100. And of course, I had to go out and curate the yarn for it and everything. I had to go out and buy all that. But I think that the person who bought it from me didn't realize it was going to be that expensive. I think it was, and I was just giving her a little cheaper price too because, you know, I was trying to make a profit on it, but I don't know. Maybe like with custom orders, maybe I should go a little cheaper. I don't know. You know, because then I'm not paying for a booth, etc. And it's just out of the comfort of my home. So, and then I can work on it any time, etc. So I don't know, but it's maybe an idea just to kind of keep people coming back. But I still want to make a profit though, and that's the thing. Because whenever I do a 30% markup, which is wholesale, that's a little bit of a markup, for to make a profit. You know, I can't just be working for just the cost of my items and then my time. I want to make a little extra for it. So it's kind of hard. Sometimes it's hard trying to determine, your value as a crocheter. And like, I really, really do believe that everybody needs to, put forth their value. And honestly, like I just bought groceries, and for just the two of us, it's, like the cost of groceries and the way things cost now, it's just like I kind of have to pass the buck along. It's like things aren't cheap anymore, you know? Like, of course, everybody talks about the eggs, but, you know, eggs are a major protein source for us. I want to get chickens so bad, but I just can't afford to get a new fence, you know? My chickens would run out of my backyard. They would find a way. Or something would find a way to get to them. And I think I found where the squirrels were getting into my attic, because there is a hole underneath my awning. And it looks like it's been chewed open. So I know where those squirrels were getting in at. Little buggers. Getting in my attic. So making ducks. Making ducks. Okay, so I'm off a stitch. Yep. Okay. Let me count my stitches real quick. Okay, so that should have been 24. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 22, 23, 24. Okay. 4. I wish I could play music while doing YouTube. That would be cool. I could do it on TikTok. But I want to get paid for this sucker. I haven't gotten paid yet. I finally got over 1,000 subscribers, and I was like, I felt like exhausted after that. And then I got overwhelmed with life and everything. So I'm just like, okay. I took a break. Now I got to maintain. My subscribers. I probably lost half a dozen of them, if not more. Probably back down below 1,000 again. I don't know, how many do I have? I don't even remember. I haven't looked in a while, to be honest. Okay, so that's my decrease. So I should have 16. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, now I'm going to weigh out my filling. And I weigh out my stuffing, because then that way everything is kind of the same weight, the same fullness. And it was 18 grams. And I weighed out by the gram. And that's also how I determine, how much yarn I use and how much, I weigh out my yarn. Uh-oh. Where are you going? Don't fall down. No, not down that far. Okay. All right. Okay. So. And then we're using a television for the monitor. So my other monitor crapped out on me after over 10 years. I think I had it for 12 years. I think it finally just died. Give it the ghost. I don't know. It just stopped working one day. It was a little touchy on the back side of it. Okay, so that's 8. Do y'all ever just fluff up your filling? I do that sometimes. Especially if you get the filling that's been vacuum packed down. And then someone said, try to stuff your amigurumi like a donut, going around. But I wish I had a really good brown. I wish Bernat Blanket made brown. And I don't know, they may have a brown now. I haven't looked. But for a while, they just didn't have a good brown. And I haven't looked in a while. I know they're supposed to come out with new colors and things like that. Oh, Ollie's has a really good sale on the Bernat blanket yarn. And I kind of want to go down there and check it out. Because they were saying they had skeins for $5, $4.99. And I was like, But it's probably only going to be ugly colors. It's going to be the colors that nobody wants, or it's going to be the old style of Bernat blanket because sometimes, like they had changed the formula just a little bit. And oh shoot, I forgot to weigh that. So I'll get to yammering, and I forgot to weigh it. Okay, and I need 2 more grams. And so it was a little bit coarser. Not to say coarser, but a little bit more dense. It wasn't as fluffy. It was more compact and it wasn't as fluffy. And it just didn't have it didn't have enough soft, there wasn't enough loft on the strand. I guess that's the word that's best to describe chenille yarn. It's got a loft to it or a pile to it. I used to use the word pile, but loft is probably better. It's just not as soft. Now the baby blanket's pretty soft. Now what I do also like is the Premier Chenille Basics. That's a really good yarn. It works up really good. It's on par with Bernat blanket. I think it's more closer to a baby blanket than it is the actual Bernat blanket. But yeah, I seem to like that. Pretty good. Pretty good. So anyway. And I have to order that online. And okay, so I think I just have to decrease around. Okay. I just don't have the funds to do that right now. Being poor sucks. But you know what? I'm trying. At least I am trying. I'm not being lazy about it. Though I do have my moments where I've fallen into a little bit of a depression, and I try not to stay there, and I try not to live there into that little bit of depression when it comes to my finances. And I don't want to talk about it all the time, and I have a bad habit of talking about it, and I don't want to talk about it because it's like, you know what? I don't want to bring you guys down. I don't want to be down. I want to bring you guys down about it. It's tough. It's tough sometimes. So we're going to try to make it more positive. So this would make a really pretty daffodil. This yellow. This would make a really, really pretty daffodil. I wonder if I can make a daffodil pillow. That would be really, really pretty. I would love that. And you know what? I think Wonder Crochet has one. I bet she does. I want to say she does. And sometimes I take my little tails and I'll just stuff them right back into the critter. Okay. But if you never checked her out, she's really, really good. She's got a lot of great tutorials. And also she has her own blog. So you can find a lot of her patterns for free on her blog. The same with the Sweet Softies. They both have really nice blogs. So I do encourage you to check them both out. They're both really cool. So the cinema roll pattern that I use is a Wonder Crochet. And right now, like my favorite YouTubers, Instagrammers. Um, right now are all these nice young women. They're Blondie Knots, and I can't remember her first name. I think is it Jennifer? I want to say her name is Jennifer. She looks like a Jennifer. She's really cool. I really like her vibe. I really like, how she does more than just amigurumi, but she does a lot of tapestry crochet, but she does a really, really cool looking tapestry crochet, you know. And then Melly makes crochet. Is it Melly makes crochet? So she's really cool. I like her. She's a young woman. She's a really good fiber artist. It's really cool to see her on her little journey there as a fiber artist. I haven't watched this other young lady in a while, but Cameron's Cute Creations. She's really good. Uh, the At one of my markets, where I've had the other crocheter next to me, I recently met this lady, um, and she was telling me all. We were talking about like people on YouTube, and she's like, "You ever watched Cameron's Cute Creations?" Like, "Oh yeah, I watch her all the time because she's really good about helping you with your market business and things like that." And I was like, yeah, I've watched her before. And she's really given me a lot of really good ideas and tips. And like, between her and Crochetpreneur, like they're really, really good at like market tips. Mendamal, she's really good. I like watching her. What was that? Crochet Customs. So she's pretty cool. She's a young lady out of Canada. Who else am I watching? There was one other person that I just remembered a moment ago and it lost it. I already lost it. Who was it? Okay. Oh yeah, Vivian the Strawberry. Now Vivian does more than crochet. She also does stickers, and she does like reclamation, like on the like mugs and things like that, bags, t-shirts, and things like that. But she does have crochet, and she really, really inspires me. She's got a lot of really good tips. I just really like. She really does give me a really good, idea of like, going that little bit of extra mile for like your customers and things like that. And I really kind of like that idea, and just kind of going into that mindset, you know, um, I really, I want to have leave a good impression with my customers. That's really an important thing. Like today, I had really good customer service. I had my groceries delivered from Kroger, and more often than not, like the Kroger delivery people are just so nice. And like today, she was like, "If you have too many bags, I will take your old bags with me." And I was like, "For real?" She's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Well, I've got them handy. Let me go get them." Because sometimes we have the grocery sacks. And I was like, "Any grocery sack?" And she's like, "Yeah." So it's not just like the blue Kroger bags. And she's like, "No, it could be any grocery sack." And I was like, "Oh, that's awesome." So, you know, sometimes we get them and they kind of have holes in them. So we'll hold on to them, and I'll just take them to go get recycled. And also, like the plastic that your toilet paper is wrapped up into, or your paper towels are wrapped up into, that's recyclable. It's just you have to recycle it with your plastic bags. Okay, so like that you take to the grocery store and etc. And I was just like really amazed by that. She took the time to wait, and she was just super nice. And I was sitting there going, that is a great example of good customer service. And I want to do that. I want to have like a good customer service base, and I want to go that extra mile, and I want to do more. And being nice and just really presenting, and I think that's what, you're not, I just don't want to be a person who's just standing there and just selling. I want to engage, and I want to establish a relationship with my customers. And I used to do that when I used to work for the grocery store. I used to work in the deli, I used to be a deli manager. And to have an established relationship with customers. Like I would, some customers that would come back all the time, and you get to know them and get to see their smiling faces and things like that. And I love that. That would be like the best part of my job would be the customers. And I've had employees who would be like, I hate the customers, and I'm just like, How have you tried to get to know the customers, to have, to where you want to serve these people? And I think that's what it is that person who was working there just was there as it was just a job. It really wasn't a moment or a time where you got the gratification of making somebody's day better, you know so it was. And I kind of want to do that. I kind of want to just make somebody's shopping experience better. I wanted to make it a positive experience, and I want the people to come back. And and I want to be genuine. I don't want to be disingenuous about, and just, smile and laugh. No, I want them to, I want it to be a genuine experience. And people, can they can pick up on that, so I think that's kind of what my overall goal is too, as well. And that's why, I like trying to do the same markets over and over, because then I would establish a customer base. So I'm trying to find markets. Like I would do like some festivals, but I want to do like a standard market and just kind of like stay there at different times of the month, like every third weekend, I'll go to this particular market that's every month or something like that. So I'm thinking about doing that. And I think, that would just be something to do, but I would like to vet it because, I went to a market just to check it out, just to vet it and check it out and see what type of demographic it was. And I just kind of determined like it's not the right demographic for me. Now, if so like my aesthetic was probably not on par with with what the demographic was, and I was really just noticing like who was really there. And so yeah, just really kind of wasn't what I needed. And I'm kind of glad I did that. Sometimes you have to go out there and you have to do the research. It's like you are your own marketing uh, department. You have to go and see. Like, it's also determining like, hey, what materials work best for you? Where do you get them from? Is this a better value for you? Your tools and your materials, and also, what style of videos that you put out, like your shorts and things like that. Is it, who is it appealing to, and etc. You know, uh, so it's really it's quite interesting. Interesting how things work out in that type of business. Okay, so do when I did this, it was yeah, in that row right there. Okay. So okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Anyway, oh, we got like 5 more minutes, and I'm gonna bounce on out. So it gives me time to make these wing ding dings, wingy ding ding, and then I'll have finished the duck. I started the duck off like last night, but I'll finish it today. Okay, chain 2, double crochet in the same stitch. Oh, okay, as the chain. Okay, double crochet 3. The next 3 stitches. Okay. And I know that some people say, like, don't say that the crochet market is saturated. It really kind of is a little bit. But so are other different types of markets. Some things are starting to, as with trends and fads and things like that. And we have a whole lot of new crocheters out there. People who just only started crocheting just recently, and like it's totally on trend. And that's great. I'm happy for those people who have discovered the joy of crochet. I've been doing it for a while now, and I really enjoy it. Let's see. Next 3 stitches. Okay, did that. Chain 1, turn, skip a stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, single crochet, slip stitch. Okay. Nope. That was supposed to be there. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And this is a slippy stitch. Okay. I don't like how that looks though. It's too pointy. It's almost got like a right angle. See how it's kind of like an angle right there? I don't like that. Why is it like that? Because it's not like on this duck. See, they're kind of nice, and let's try to get to where you can see it. Yeah, so here we go. It's kind of a roundish kind of wing, It's got a slight point to it, but not much. This one's like really like boxy. What did I do different? Okay, let's try this again. 1, 2. Oops. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Not this one. Did I do it the same way? Okay, so 1, 2. Oh, you know what I did? I think I know what I did. I don't know. Because by looking at this, I don't think I single crocheted into the same stitch as the chain. Oh, it's 2 o'clock. All right. I know it's 2 o'clock. Okay. Actually, I think I probably need to skip that stitch and go here. 1, 2. That's probably what I need to do. And then I'm going to slip stitch here. But yeah, that's a whole lot better. It's not nearly as boxy. It's like, what did I do? All right, kids. Well, I have been on here for an hour. Roommate just got up too from his nap, so it's time for me to balance out. And I hope you guys have a good day. I will finish this other wing offline. Yeah, it's so much cuter. So much cuter. These ducks sell for me really, really well. And with Easter coming up, I think they would be a great little addition to like Easter baskets, etc. And I saw some super cute Easter baskets over there at HEB. So that is a Texas-based grocery store. And I also saw some really cute ones over at Walmart too. But HEB had some really, really cute ones. And I was like, oh, I wonder if I can crochet something like that. One of them looked like a frog holding on to to a water lily. It was super cute. And I was like, I could crochet something like that. That would be super cute. Anyway, all right, guys, I'm going to head on out. I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for hanging with me, listening to me yammer while I'm crocheting. And I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see y'all later. Bye. Ta-ta for now. I guess I'll see you next Tuesday. Tuesday is 1 o'clock. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.